Gotta go, time's passing quickly. Not sure quite where I wanna be, but I wanna be there with you. Life's the same, like it's stuck on repeat. It'd be much easier if you were with me, but I can't find you. Searching for the girl is a silly game we gotta play. Don't quit on her now, don't let her get away. Please be brave, cause I promise I'll try. This is so bad, sometimes I cry, but soon you'll dry my tears. You'll hush my fears. You'll set me free again, oh, like I promised you. I'll do what I have to in order to find you. You'll be the most precious thing beside me. We'll tell secrets oh so quietly. You'll push away all my doubt, help the best of me come out. We'll walk through this world together, making our time seem so much better. I'll trust you, so please trust me. Play through the eternities. Cause searching for the girl was a silly game I had to play, but I didn't quit, it was worth it in every way. You were brave as I tried. This is so bad, sometimes I cried, but now you've dried my tears. You've hushed my fears. You set me free again, oh, like I promised you. I did what I had to in order to find you. Whoa, whoa. I love you.
There are many things I love about my sister Brontë, but one of the most amazing aspects of her, probably I'd say, is her insane levels of creativity. I think Brontë could make a game out of a rock. She were to look around, she'd be like, what do we have here? Some dust and more dust, and boom. She'd make an awesome game out of it and be super fun. And I think that's one of the reasons that she does so well with children, is that she's just super fun to be around and super creative and unique. That's one of my absolute favorite things about Brontë.
Hey, Brontë!
Hey!
So, I love you, and I think you're incredible because I feel like you fill so many different roles and so many different shoes. And basically what I mean by that is I feel like you can be a bunch of different people. Like, if I need advice, I can go to you, and then you're like, wise old sensei and my older sister and all the good stuff. But then I also feel like I can go to you when I just want someone to like brag to about my accomplishments and party with. You're someone I can shop with, talk about boys with. Not anymore, don't worry, Sean. But I feel like you're able to switch between roles really, really well, and so you can be a lot of different people for me at once, and that's part of the reason why I feel like I don't need a lot of friends, is because I'm such good friends with you, and you're able to give me so many things that I need that I just feel like I don't really need a lot of other people. And also, you're really smart and you're really pretty. Now, Sean.
And I really like hanging out with you. You probably laugh the most out of all the domes, which is really nice, because I'm a laugher as well. You're really smart and sassy, and yeah, I just enjoy hanging out with you.
Also, we think you have a good choice in men because we like Johnny, especially
Yes.
Sean likes Johnny. So, good work.
I love Brontë because she's so spunky and unique. Bronte's the kind of person who sets her own path, makes her own goals, and then goes and achieves them. She's probably the hardest working person I know, and she loves her family more than anyone. She's always taken really, really good care of me and Nesh, and she's the best example of someone who knows how to forgive and love other people that I know of. I really love Brontë.
Yeah. I just want to say that Bronte is an extremely hard worker, like Kennedy said. She gets her mind on things and will absolutely do them. She's super reliable, super dependable, and super, good, hardworking woman. She loves her family to death, and she's going to love her future family. She's going to make a wonderful wife and mother, and she's just a wonderful person overall. Yeah, I love Bronte as well.
Hey, Brontë. So Johnny asked us each to share just a couple of reasons that we both love you. So I just kind of wanted to go through some things from when you were young, I guess, up through till now. So when we were little kids, I remember one thing that I always loved about you is how you always came up with creative games to play. So you were always the one coming up with adventures that we were going to go on in the woods. Like, I remember you would always have this pink tub and fill it with a whole bunch of supplies, and we'd go out to the woods and pretend that we had to survive. Or we'd turn on the fans and open up all the windows in the middle of the winter and play freezing cold Alaska and like pretend like we had to survive. So that was really fun.
I love everything about Brontë, so I guess I can try and do the same style. So Brontë was my first friend in Provo, and I loved everything about the first time meeting Brontë and melted color crayons and squirt guns and sharing a twin-size bed. And Provo was just so much fun when we were all, I guess we weren't single, but the three of us used to always hang out in Colton, and all of our adventures, like Amron said, and all of our hikes and
hot tub adventures.
Hot tubs and what are they called, hot springs and everything. Brontë is my best friend in Provo, actually, not just my first friend, and I love that Bronte's fun, and she's up for anything, and I can tell Brontë anything, I can talk to her about anything, I can act however I want, and I know that she'll still love me.
I guess the other thing I was thinking of too is like Bronte's spirituality I really love. Like, she's always been so dedicated to the gospel, and she always just amazes me with how much like devotion she has to becoming. And her random profound thoughts on everything. Have you guys been thinking about this? No, but you have. Well, just like, like she's always like reading like about the gospel and going to the temple and praying about different things and improving herself, and she's always just been a really good example to me of how to be like a follower of Christ in a world where not very many people are striving to be good, and Brontë always is. Yeah, she's the perfect example of a child of God. Yeah, so anyway, those are some of the things. It's already getting too long, but it's super long. Hopefully Johnny can edit this. We love you. Love you.
I've been asked to say a few words about why Bronte's great. And there's a lot of things I could talk about, and it would take a long time. I was asked to make a short clip and just talk about one thing. And so if I was going to speak on one thing that I think is great about Brontë, it would be that Brontë is a strong young woman who isn't afraid to be herself. And why that's so great is that Brontë is a doer. She's someone who's very dependable, and when I think of Brontë, I often think of in the New Testament where Jesus talks about people who draw close to him with their lips, but their hearts are far from him. And Brontë is definitely someone with a big heart who's close to the Lord, and the world is filled with lots of people who are willing to give you platitudes and niceties and flatter you, but when it's time to really sacrifice and be Christ-like and dig in and be helpful, that's when the excuses come, and that's when they're too weak or too busy or those kinds of things. But Brontë is going to always give you straight talk, and when you need something, she's going to be there to help and willing to really dig in and be a doer of the word, not a hearer only. That's why Brontë is an emergency room nurse. When you show up to the emergency room, you need someone who's going to give you straight talk and be prepared to help you and deal with whatever your emergency is, not just give you some niceties. Also, I've seen Brontë with people who are close to her, like when her sisters came out to Utah and were new at college. Brontë made sure they had a nice place to live, paid a large portion of the rent, made sure they had food, and really was willing to dig in and take care of her sisters in very practical ways with her great generosity and willing to sacrifice of herself and her resources. And there's many other great things about Brontë, but I'm very proud of her. She's a wonderful person, and it's been a privilege to be her father and be associated with her.
Brontë knows the story of when I signed her up for dance class and bought her a pair of pointe shoes to decorate her bedroom. But what Brontë doesn't know is the rest of the story. When she was a little girl, Brontë loved to dance, and I recognized that she had quite a talent for it. So at age 5, I had her audition for the most exclusive ballet company in the state of Minnesota. I was so excited for her, but frankly not surprised when she was accepted for admission. In her acceptance letter, the rules and regulations of the dance school were strictly outlined. So on the first day of class, Brontë donned a mandated school leotard with the required slippers. We pulled her hair back into a tight bun at the cap of her head, just so, as we were instructed, and then made the 1.5-hour drive from Malacca to the Minnesota Dance Theater. Brontë had no problem saying goodbye to me at the large wooden classroom door. I waited out in the hallway with the other dance moms and worried, wondered, and hoped that her first day would go really well and that she'd make a good impression on the studio director, who I was told always visited the first day of class. Finally, worry and curiosity got the best of me, and I broke decorum by walking over to the classroom door. I stood on my tiptoes and I peered inside the small rectangular window there. What I saw absolutely mortified me. The live pianist was playing at the piano, and all of the little girls were standing primly and properly doing demi-pliés at the ballet bar. All except for Brontë. My Brontë was pirouetting around the room with all the energy and intensity of an artisan caught in the fever of composition, oblivious to the other dancers, oblivious to her instructors, and oblivious to the obvious social mores of the moment. When class was over, I waited for the other children and parents to leave. I attempted to do damage control by going to apologize to the instructor, and I assured her that I'd have a talk with Brontë and that behavior would never happen again. The teacher looked at me with an irregular expression that I didn't quite recognize and said, "I have been an instructor all my life. I can tell immediately who will dance with the company and who won't. Your daughter is a free spirit who marches to the beat of her own drum. She has the heart of a prima ballerina, and that's why she cannot be compelled to obediently stand at the bar with the other children. Your daughter will go on to greatness so long as you do not discourage her and stifle her spirit." That day, as we left the school, I stopped in the costume shop and purchased a pair of pink satin pointe shoes, the type worn by ballerinas, and I hung them in Bronté's bedroom. Not for Brontë, but for myself, as a reminder to never discourage Bronté's eclectic nature and to never attempt to restrain her free spirit or make her fit into someone else's box. Embodied in this experience is painted a picture of what I find to be so incredible about my daughter Brontë. Brontë is the light and joy of my life. And now you and Brontë know the rest of the story.